For some reason, students tend to struggle with this lecture. And I've rewritten it a couple of times, and I think it's relatively straightforward. But what it comes down to is distribution. The concept is very simple. What makes it so hard is that there's a lot of details you have to remember. And so this is this is the third part of the 4Ps place. And the reason why they don't call it distribution is 4Ps are kind of snazzier. But in a nutshell, the reason why distribution is so important, and distribution out of the marketing mix is the number one driver for physical products. And it's because this is the way you touch the customer. The way you touch the customer determines how do you sell. And so it has the biggest effect. And so today we're going to talk about how it works, how we design it, how we implement it, and what do we do if we're a startup. And so the idea is fairly simple. I'm a company. I need to line my company up with my customers the way they want to do things. For example, I have a software product. If I don't offer it as a download, what if I say, oh yes, you could buy the software product, but we'll send you a CD with the software? You're going to sit there and go, where are you from, the 1990s? And that's what I mean by alignment. And then you connect with your customer, you touch your customer, and then you reach them. And so this process and structure of you providing services and supporting your customer is referred to as distribution. And here are some examples. Supposing I have a company like Lamborghini. How do I align with them? Well, this is a product of expensive excitement. How am I going to connect with Lamborghini? Well, because I have a high quality luxury product, I have to have showrooms and events. Whereas something like Pandora, where it's just going to be online and mobile. And who's my customer? They're going to be these active, wealthy luxury buyers. And so that's an example of alignment, connect, and to my customer. So in terms of the customer experience, it's still about the value proposition. It's about cost, the experience with the channel. Remember in the early going when we talked about what customers value, and so accessibility. And that has to do with the convenience of it. And how responsive am I? That is what the customer experience is based on. Spending time with the customer is expensive. And so you need to figure out when is enough good enough? How can I do it and what it comes down to is my channel that I choose to pick. That's a set of organization, and here's the definition. Basically, a channel is a set of organizations that connects my product to the customer. And it could be physical with distribution, or it could be something on the lines of digital. And so there are a lot of pieces that go into this. And an example is, in terms of channels, is The Economist. Now, The Economist has great content. They have great articles and information about financials and economics. But there's lots of ways they can connect with the customer. They could do it through social media. They could do it through their print magazine, which is what they were originally founded on. They could go through distribution partners. And so you can read the rest of this. There's lots of different ways that they can get their content out of there. And so you create a lot of choices. And part of the reason why The Economist has survived and done well is because they recognized they needed more distribution channels, where some, like newspapers, were late to the game. So you're informing, you're transacting, you're stocking and supplying, you're going to be able to deliver, and you're going to be able to support it. Those are the functions that make up a channel. And what you're trying to do is come up with the right set of services at the lowest cost. So I need to know my customer. I need to direct my customer in a certain direction. I need to inform them. What is my competitive advantage? I need to know what my competition is doing. Do I have my logistics worked out where it all works smoothly and cheaply? All these pieces. and I have to keep my customers engaged. I have to keep them active. And different customers act in different ways. Again, age is a big issue here. Now, in terms of distribution flow, there's a difference between a physical product and a digital product. Naturally, a physical product, when you think about the product itself, it's about manufacturing, whereas digital is content. In terms of the transaction, physical products, I can use resellers, people like Walmart, middlemen sales. On the other hand, if I have a digital product or want to sell my products digitally, then I'm going to use websites and portals. I'm going to do it by e-commerce. In terms of supporting my product, do I do it or do I have somebody else do it? Or do I have you do it? I mean, that's one thing I love about software. What happens when you have problems? They send you right to the FAQ. Yeah, it's hard to get somebody to actually help you. And in terms of sales, sometimes your manufacturer sells it directly. Or do you use resellers or do you do it yourself? And so there's trade-offs in terms of acquisition speed. This is why you still have grocery stores. Instead of ordering your groceries and maybe they'll get there that day or maybe they'll get there the next day, you can drive down and get it right away. That's a big advantage. Urgency. Again, physical meets a need. On the other hand, digital, and we'll learn about this later, it's called the long tail effect. It's a heck of a lot cheaper to store goods in a warehouse than it is on a retail floor. And so that's why they can stock a whole bunch of different kinds of products for you. And so here are some examples. You can read through this yourself between what are digital products and what are physical products. And so in the next video, we'll start to talk about how we go about designing these channels.